white, focusing on the colors that unite us. USA!
Hello, America. Hello, America. Pastor Mark Burns here. I am so excited that you are tuned in to the colors that unite. You're watching it live right here on RSBN.TV. And I am just so excited that you are tuned in because we have a lot to talk about as we are all excited about the final presidential debate that is coming up. And there's still a lot that can be done in this race. So I just want to encourage everybody that's watching this broadcast to don't be dismayed. We're not out of the race yet. I know liberal media has been doing a great job in trying to paint this negative picture about our candidate, Donald Trump. I was with Mr. Trump earlier this week, late this week, this past Thursday in Palm Beach. I was there in the back with Dr. Carson and myself and of course, President Donald Trump. And what a great time that we had in Palm Beach, Florida. Thousands of people were there. It was an amazing time. Every one of Donald Trump's rallies are amazing. And so don't be dismayed. Dr. Carson reached over and began to whisper in my ear and said to me, this excitement factor that's going on, the excitement factor, it cannot be measured in polls. See, the media is not getting this. This is very similar to Brexit. Okay, the polls are suggesting that Donald Trump is really behind and he's going to lose. But the excitement factor, the enthusiasm factor that cannot be measured in any poll, it is obvious that America wants a change. Everywhere Donald Trump goes to, every state Donald Trump goes to, it is jam-packed with faithful Trump supporters. And guess what? It is getting stronger and stronger and stronger. Even after the tapes came out about these false allegations about Donald Trump and these women, who many of them have already been debunked, has come out against Donald Trump. The latest poll shows that Donald Trump's support amongst women have grown. That women are growing in support. They're not denouncing Donald Trump. It is getting stronger. And that brings me to, many of the GOP established leaders in this country. I don't understand how we're so shocked that many of them already begin to jump ship because they tried to stop Donald Trump from the beginning from ever even reaching the White House, from ever reaching the nomination. They've done everything in their power. And I know because I was there on the ground. And they were doing everything in their power to try to stop him from receiving the nomination, even though the voice of the people was declaring they wanted Donald Trump to be the Republican nominee. Even on the first day on the floor, states like Colorado were trying to create a coup. Even then at the Republican National Convention. And of course, I went out and began to pray right after that happened. So it is no shock that some of the GOP leaders have already walked away. But guess what? The good news is this. We didn't need them to get this far, and we won't need them to cross the finish line. That's the exciting thing. You know why? Because we have you. We have us. Donald Trump has us, the people, the voice of the people, the colors that unite, not divide. The United States of America, the red, white, and blue, the patriots of this great fine country, like my very first caller. And I'm going to be talking about that today because the fact of the matter is we are not voting for Donald Trump's past flaws, but we're voting for Donald Trump's present policies. We're not voting for his past flaws. We all have them. We all have issues. There are things that I've done. There are things that you've done. But we don't want people to judge us based off of who we were years ago. When CNN came in, and my issues were, who I was in my 20s is not who I was in my 30s. who I was, or what I needed, or what I thought was important in my 20s is not what I need or think is important in my 30s. That there's been a transformation. And so mistakes that I made in my 20s, I won't make those mistakes in my 30s. And guess what? When I get to my 40s, I'm sure there are going to be things that are not as important to me as they are right now in my 30s. There's a progression in our life. We can't hold Donald Trump, accountable when the Word of God says, and again, I'm not going to preach it, but the Bible makes it very clear in the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse number 17, that in Christ, we are made new creatures. Old things are passed away. All things are made anew. Okay, so I know Donald Trump has confessed his relationship with God. He's done it to me. He's done it to others. He has a relationship. He's a strong man of faith. And we're going to try to really attack the base, people, the evangelicals, the people of faith. That's why I did a 911 cry this on Periscope and on Facebook Live this week. That has really went viral. That people of faith quit acting as though, or falling in the pit of the mainstream media and liberal media who wants you to focus on Donald Trump's past when your faith should dictate what you believe. Your faith. Even to the preachers of our nation, it vexes me when I see some of the greatest preachers that I know, some of the greatest men and women of God that I've looked up to for so long, and they're forgetting the fact that you should be leading your people based off of your faith and not your race. Your faith and not your race. Your faith should dictate the direction in which you lead people. And right now, the Democratic Party has made it very clear that they have an all-out war against people of faith, against the freedom of religion. You found it out in our leaks, in the WikiLeaks releases that this is the kind of language that Hillary Clinton and her leadership, and it flows from the head down. This is the kind of attitude that they have towards people of faith. We need to bond ourselves. We need to unite more than ever. People of faith, if you're a person of faith, and you know that faith is important to your life, then you need to make sure, get past Donald Trump's personality. Get past Donald Trump's past. Get past Donald Trump's issues that he might have, his past problems, and focus on the principles that he represents. Don't focus on the party. Don't focus on the person. Focus on the policies. Let me say that again. Stop focusing on the party. Stop focusing on the person and start focusing on the policies. Because the policies is what's going to dictate our country for the next 30 to 40 to 50 years, especially with the next appointments of the Supreme Court justices. And they're either going to be liberal Supreme Court justice or they're going to be conservative Supreme Court justice. The Johnson Amendment, that is an onslaught attack against our freedom of speech as people of faith. The Johnson Amendment, that is a tax code that if you are a nonprofit, if you're a 501c3, you can lose your 501c3 if you support a candidate financially, if you support a candidate politically. We as leaders should have a right to lead our people from the platform that God gave us. But the government is dictating what we can say, what we can't say if we're 501c3. That's called the Johnson Amendment. When then Senator Lyndon Baines Johnson, when he was attacked by a nonprofit for his re-election bid in the Senate, once he won the election, he made it law that could never happen to him again by creating the Johnson Amendment. Donald Trump wants to appeal the Johnson Amendment. Donald Trump wants to give the power of the pulpit back to the pastors and leaders of this country so that we can declare the right compass in which we are to lead. We can promote our conservative values from the pulpit, the platform that God has given us, and echo it around the world. But they're putting a muzzle on our mouths with the Johnson Amendment. And it vexes me to see so many African-American leaders, pastors and preachers who are saying, I've sold out to the black community when there is no such thing as the black community. I'm very proud of my black heritage. I'm very proud of my African-American culture, but there is no black community, because you don't speak to one black person doesn't mean you speak to all of us. So there is no one community that we all have the same issues. But the fact of the matter is that there are so many leaders in our country who are not being bold, who are not making decisions based off of their faith, but they're making decisions based off of their race. And that's the problem. They're not leading and guiding their people to the cross, even though it may not be popular, even though it may not be makes people feel good, even though the mainstream media has you focusing on the fact that you think Donald Trump is a racist and Donald Trump is a separatist and Donald Trump is a bigot, and while they're giving you these false lies and these false allegations, you're missing out on the policies that are at hand, that are dictating our moral compass of our country. And we, the voice of God to the people of God, should be declaring our conservative values that are important to us based off of the canon, the Word of God. This is who we're fighting against, the Democratic Party. Democrats and Hillary Clinton wants to make sure we lose more authority. Not gain it, lose it. Not gain it, lose it. As you can tell today, I'm very passionate. Remember, we're talking about today that we are not voting for Donald Trump's past, but we are voting for Donald Trump's policies. We're not voting for Donald Trump's past failures or past problems, but we're voting for Donald Trump's present policies. Pick up the phone, give me a call, 864-373-0001. Join in the conversation. My first caller is Ryan. Ryan, thank you so much for calling the Colors That Unite. Welcome to the show, sir.
How you doing, Pastor Burns?
Welcome to the show, Ryan.
Man, it's good to talk to you.
Honored to talk to you.
I just want to say this real quick. I've known you for a long, long time, and I went to school with you back in Bear Country. I know your parents well.
Yeah.
And I don't know what's going to happen with this election. It's in God's hands at this point. But what I do know is I wish more of America knew you and who you are and what you've been for all the years that I've known.
Wow.
I wish more people knew how sincere you are about uniting people under God, with God. It's amazing that you're in the spotlight, but it tears me down to the core to see people who don't even know you try to tear you down.
Wow.
And I'm looking at you going, wait a minute. This man, I've seen this man reach out and unite people from day one. His parents are the most loving people I know.
Wow.
My kids, my two little girls, love your parents. You know,
wow.
I've seen them preach funerals. I know people they baptized, white people in their churches. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Loving, wonderful people. So I say this from the bottom of my heart. Nothing political. You know, it is what it is. You're right. There's a lot of fight left in this race. We're not voting for the man's past. We're voting for what we believe in as Americans.
Absolutely.
It's a shame. It's a shame what the Democratic Party has done to make people believe that they have to think one way or the other. They have totally overtaken the thought process.
Ryan,
but
I want to tell you, wow, Ron, you just really, really blessed me beyond words, classmate. And this is not staged. I had no idea that someone that I know from my past would be calling in today. Thank you so much. You really blessed me beyond words, more than you can ever. And I hope to get to connect, which I hope we're close enough to where we can see you in person and reconnect and really, really just, you know, reminisce on the old times of BHP, Bear Country.
Go Bears. Back in the day.
Back in the day, my friend.
I can tell you this, and like I say, nothing political, but you are a man of faith. You are a man of love, and you stay strong to who you are. You keep your head up, and I know you will. And I know your heart's in the right place. And these folks trying to tear you down, I hope after this election cools off and whoever's president is seated in office, I hope these people reach out to you and get to know you better, because these people filled with hatred, they really need to get to know you.
Wow.
I don't know who's going to be president, but I know that these people with hatred in their hearts, they need to know you, because way back when I came to BHP, I came from Atlanta, and I wound up in this school out in the middle of the country. I didn't know anybody, but I know you had my back, your
Yes.
brother and your family, and it meant a lot to me. And you've always stayed true to your character, to your family, and I thank you for that, and it means the world to me that I can tell my people at work, hey, I know this man, and I know who he is. So
Wow.
don't let this media frenzy paint this picture and call him these different names, because here's a man, and I can tell them about who you are, and it means a lot to me to be able to do that. So,
Wow. Wow. Ryan, thank you so much, my brother. You really blessed me more than words. I don't think I can box it into words to say how you really blessed me, and thank you for being a true friend. For everyone that is watching, the thousands that are literally watching, this is not planned. I literally had no idea that Ryan was going to call a former classmate back from my old high school. I'm from Belton, South Carolina. Today, my mother, it's so funny, Ryan, because today my mother showed me a newspaper of the Belton Chronicles that I'm on the front cover, and I had no idea that Belton had did a story, a positive story on me being a native of Belton, South Carolina, and I got that today. So it just feels so good. I've been feeling like a big reunion today, spending time with my parents and now talking to you. Thank you so much, Brian, for supporting, and thank you so much, brother. It means a lot to me, and I hope to connect with you off air. I want to make sure that our producers get your number, so maybe I can connect with you off air.
all right, Pastor Burns, you take care, and thank you for doing what you're doing for this nation.
Thank you so much, Ryan. God bless you, sir. Thank you. God bless America. Listen, he just really, really blessed me. I literally had no idea that was happening. I mean, and the first caller. So thank you so much, Ryan, for taking me back down memory lane, and thank you for remembering who I was way back when. And he's right. It's just an extension of who I am today. And I love people. I want to see us come together. I'm more of a person of faith than my race. My faith is more important to me than my race. I'm a child of God first. And I think it's simply just love. So it doesn't matter whether you're gay, or whether you're straight, or whether you're black, or whether you're white. It doesn't matter what your background is. It doesn't matter how long you've been in jail. It doesn't matter what your crimes were. Love is the key. Love is the key, and love is the center focal point that can bring us all together. And that's really the message: love, and love. Get past Donald Trump's personality. You're not voting for the person. You're not voting. Stop focusing on the person. Stop focusing on the party, and start focusing on the policies that are at hand. That's what's more important. Charlene from North Carolina. Thank you so much for calling the Colors That Unite. Charlene, welcome to the show.
Hey, hey, Pastor Burns, how are you doing tonight?
I'm wonderful. Thank you for calling in.
Yes, I really would like to. I wrote a poem, and I really have been trying to. I would like to get it to Donald Trump, and I had gave it to him at the rally, and I don't really know if he got it. But it's I think a lot of our listeners, might be inspired. It's a real short poem, and I don't know if you want me to read it, but I would like to get you a copy too. I'd really like to share it with you.
I would love it. Let me give you an mailing address. It's P.O. Box 2298.
2298,
Easily,
okay.
South Carolina, 29641. 29641. Please, we would love to see it. And thank you so much for your support of Donald Trump, and thank you so much for getting that out to us. We would love to, and we'll do all that we can to make sure that Mr. Trump gets a copy of it. He gets so much stuff. There's so much love. You will have no idea of the love of Americans that they have all over this country. Thank you so much, Charlene, for calling in, and please make sure that we get a copy of that. We'll be glad to take a look. Eddie from Pennsylvania. Eddie, thank you so much for calling the Colors Unite. You're live on the air. Eddie, thanks for calling the Colors Unite. Are you still with us? And I'm going to
I'm
ask
with you. I'm
every
with you,
caller,
Pastor.
so grateful. And I'm going to ask every caller, if you can, to don't mute your phone. Try not to mute your phone. If you need to cut the volume down on your television or your computer, just don't mute your phone. So when we come to you, we want to try to get to you as fast as possible, because they're telling me the lines, once again, are lit up. And we're trying our hardest to get to as many of you all as possible. I'm so thankful for the love. I mean, I'm just amazed. And these are conservative, concerned Americans that are calling in. These are conservative, concerned Americans that are they're concerned. They are conservative. They want to see Mr. Trump in the White House, and I want to make sure that every person hears the concerns of these great Americans that are calling in. So just try to, if you're in queue right now, just unmute your phone. Make sure your phone is not on mute. So when I come to you, we can jump right on in. There's Scott from Arizona. Scott, are you on the show? Scott, are you with us?
Okay, yeah, I just heard you right now. How you doing, Pastor?
Great. Thank you so much for calling in the Colors Unite. And again, I'm asking everybody to unmute your phone so that we can jump right on in. Welcome to the show, my friend. Welcome to the show.
Oh, okay. Your first caller was fantastic, by the way. That was great.
It blessed my heart. Really blessed my heart, Ryan.
I am down in southern Arizona. I talked to you before. I'm down by Tombstone, not too far from here. And I just wanted to say this about down here. All you ever see down here is Trump signs, Trump bumper stickers, flags, everything else. And I don't understand the polls, because I think the polls are rigged. I don't mean not rigged, but they're just not right. There's so many people that you never see Hillary Clinton stuff down here at all where I'm at. Never. You don't see it.
Yeah.
And down here, it's just, it's different down here, you know. And I want to say one more thing I told you before. I don't hate Hillary Clinton. I don't like her. I don't like what she stands for. I think she's a criminal. Hate's a terrible thing. Hate is a terrible thing, to hate that woman. But I don't agree with her at all. And that's what I wanted to say to you.
Well, listen, most definitely don't agree to those polls. Don't pay attention to those polls whatsoever. Again, the polls are designed to discredit, to discourage, and trust me when I tell you, you cannot have the excitement factor like Donald Trump is having in every rally, in every stop, in every place of the country. He's having over tens of thousands every rally, and you cannot tell me that doesn't matter. That fact we shouldn't be factoring in. Absolutely. When Hillary Clinton is averaging 300 to 500 to 1,000 at her rallies, Donald Trump is averaging between 10 to 15,000 at his rallies. This is happening on a daily, several times a day. Average of 2 to 3 rallies a day, all over this country. You cannot tell me that the polls are accurate. Absolutely not. What we're talking about today is the fact is we're not voting for Donald Trump's past. We're not voting for Donald Trump's past flaws, but we're voting for Donald Trump's present policies. And this is what we're talking about. Give me a call, 864-373-0001. Corey from New York is my next caller. Corey, thank you so much for calling the Colors That Unite. Welcome to the show, Corey.
Corey, can you hear me?
I sure can. You're live on the air.
Okay, this is why I call. I hope you understand, I don't mean any disrespect, but I think Hillary Clinton's open borders, her purpose is to bring millions and millions of refugees and illegals into this country, so she no longer needs the black vote. And I don't mean black, I mean of African American. I say black, don't misunderstand. I myself am Latino. I think her purpose is to take the power away from the black African American vote, so she no longer needs it in the future, because they see that the African American is waking up to what the Democrats have done to them for 50, 60, 100 years in these inner cities. She doesn't care about the African American. She doesn't care about the Latino. She just cares about her own pocket, her foundation, her money. So I wish that someone, and this includes the black politicians that are also neglecting their own people for their own pockets and their own political futures. Instead of realizing what they have done to these inner cities, these Democrats, they'd rather stay behind and not help their own people. It makes me so sick of how they have used their powers. And I wish African American leaders like yourself would please tell the African Americans that this is their last chance to use their power to get out of the depression and the leaving of them behind by the Democratic Party.
Mm-hmm.
They have left them behind, but they're working on replacing the black vote with the Muslim vote, the illegal vote, the refugee vote, because they know what's coming. And in the future, it's not going to, the black African American vote is not going to be as powerful as it is now. It's not going to be as powerful.
Right.
And they need to know that. And we in the streets, we are not politicians. We are little people that live in low-income areas, but all we hear is political talk and political dictionary. Just tell these people, this is their chance to. They got 4 years of Donald Trump at the most.
Right.
They've had 50, 60, 60
Absolutely.
of all these years with the Democrats who have done nothing
absolutely.
but keep them in depression. 4 more years, 4 years of a risk. They can always vote them out in 4 years and they'll never forget it. But they should at least give them a chance. They have this opportunity to hopefully something will be done in these inner cities and these poor kids that are being killed in Chicago with gangsters, gangs from everywhere. Please talk to the people in plain English language. They only have to risk 4 years as opposed to the 40 and 50 and 60 and 100 years that the Democrats have kept them so at the bottom.
Yes.
And it's not going to change. They're going to continue to be left behind, and Hillary Clinton is going to try to replace the African American votes and the Latino votes and the American voters with illegal immigrants, refugees, Muslims, and everything else, so they don't have to depend on the black American vote anymore, because they have taken it they have just taken it for granted for so long, and people don't understand.
Corey, you're absolutely right. And I want to tell you, I think what you said about the borders and how Hillary Clinton has used black votes and the Democratic Party have used black votes. The people are failing to remember what Lyndon Baines Johnson said when he was president, that I'll keep giving those N-word people free stuff and I'll have them voting Democrat for the next 200 years. And that is turning out to be true. The more free stuff that they're getting, the more he wins their vote, but yet nothing really changes. It's just all about using votes, not about the better of the man or the raising up the economic value of the person. Again, this is why we're talking to every person of faith. It's so important. I can't remember, you want to fact check me, but over tens of millions of evangelicals did not vote the last presidential cycle. And so because they did not vote, the Democrat Party won, President Barack Obama won his second term. And so I'm speaking to those millions of people of faith that are in this country. I need you to understand, we are not voting for Donald Trump's past, but we're voting for Donald Trump's present policies. I need you to call me, 864-373-0001. Richard, you're on the Colors That Unite. Welcome to the show, Richard.
Hello, Pastor. It's great to see your show. This is the second time I've watched, and I've got to say you're a breath of fresh air. And thank you for having me on your show.
Thanks for being here, Richard.
I heard you speaking earlier about, the laws that are out there against religion, sharing political views on the pulpit, and so on. But it goes so much farther than that, Pastor. These laws that are created in the name of race relations, or you name it, they're designed to simply put us all in our own little boxes and keep us there. And it keeps us from sharing our views. I mean, America is supposed to be the great melting pot, and I think there's room for all beliefs. I think there's room for all opinions, and they should all be out there and open and shared with each other. The public square needs to be open, not closed off to everyone's point of view, to everyone's belief. And it's the only way to bring people together in order for them to learn about each other and share with each other and be one united country together. And, the Democrats, they use these laws to their advantage to win the elections. And because by putting us all in our little boxes, they can target each one of us, in our own little boxes and say, this is why you should vote for us, when, it's these laws that are creating the division and the cultural separation in our country.
It's the tactic, divide and conquer, divide and conquer, divide and conquer, which is why this show is so important. Again, we need to be united more than ever. This is a rallying cry that we don't fall. We can't let Hillary Clinton and the Democratic Party pick us off. We're weaker divided. We're weaker in smaller groups. Again, and you're absolutely right. It does go so much more deeper. It's all about what we can do, what we cannot do, what we can do, what we cannot do, and who's controlling it. Big government over small government. Big government over small government. Big government suggests that there's a big federal government, and the federal government has its hands into every little thing, and small government is more control in the states.
Line muted.
More control.
Line unmuted.
More control in the states. I think we all heard that. More control in the states. And so there has to be, the only way that we can win is together. The only way we can win is together. And I'm so excited. We have a special guest that's on the line right now. My friend who's been on the campaign trail for so long, and he is a state representative. He is on the Trump trail. You see him all the time on the campaign trail. Do we have him on the air? We're ready. Okay, great. I want everybody to give a big God bless you to none other than my friend, I call him First Sergeant. He's really a state representative, but he's a former First Sergeant in the Marine Corps. He's a dear friend of mine, Representative Al.
Right.
Welcome to the colors that unite, Veterans Affairs, all that you do for Mr. Trump. Welcome to the show, sir.
Mike, it's always an honor. I was listening to you. And I'm going to tell you right now, you're doing God's work.
Amen.
You're uniting the country to be colorblind, to be under one flag. And God bless you, my brother.
Thank you, brother. Thank you so much. I'm so happy that we got you back on. I know you're on the campaign trail. I know you're all over. Sometimes we see each other, sometimes we don't. You're traveling just as much as I am. But you're out there. You're speaking a lot for Mr. Trump. You're speaking for Veteran Affairs. You've been there almost since day one, supporting Mr. Trump. And continuously bringing, communicating to the veterans of our great country, reminding them that their life is going to be changed. We're talking about, we're not voting for Donald Trump's past, but we're voting for his present policies. And one of them that's dear to his heart is how he's going to treat the veterans of this country. Talk about it.
Well, Donald Trump's veterans plan is second to none. And the reason it is, Donald Trump's plan.
And while you're doing that, Al, I want to give a big shout out to everyone that's watching on Facebook Live. I'm told that we're now also simultaneously broadcasting on Facebook Live. So I'm trying to find where you are on Facebook Live. Joe, maybe you shoot me that in Twitter here. And I want to click on it because I want to talk to everyone that's also on Facebook Live. I know you're leaving comments as we're talking, as we're going. And I want to give a shout out to you as well, those who are watching on YouTube and to those that are watching on Facebook Live. Is everybody still there?
Yeah. Mark, you hear me?
I sure can. Go ahead, Representative Al.
Okay. What I was trying to say here, I'm actually at a convention in Falmouth, Cape Cod, for Geographical Information System. But Donald Trump's plan talks about giving a medical card where veterans will not be treated as second-class citizens anymore. And they can go into any doctor, hospital that they choose. And it's a win-win for all veterans. He wants to protect the veterans' benefits. He wants to ensure there's competition, rebuild the VA to bring them up to date.
Talk about it.
It's a no-brainer.
Go ahead.
Our veterans community, of course, there's over 20 veterans a day committing suicide.
Talk about that. I mean, we don't really talk a lot about how many veterans committing suicide a day waiting to be seen. Over how many?
Over 20 veterans a day. Just recently, the last few weeks, there was a veteran in New York. Went into the mental health clinic. There was issues. He didn't get greedy. Went outside and shot himself in his car. This is happening all over the country.
My goodness. And while waiting to be seen, and this is the type of this is by administration that obviously don't think too highly of veterans. How do you feel about the Democratic Party and how they treated veterans before and now?
Well, they are getting a little better, but we still have the issues throughout the country. It's taken a long time to get in. There's a choice program that's out there that you got to call a third party and request permission to go see a specialist if you can't get into the VA. And that sometimes takes even longer. The system is there in place if they just use the TRICARE or the Medicare doctors that are already there. With a veteran, they're already contracted, but we're dealing with stupid people. We're dealing with people that are, they close their door at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock and go home, and that's it.
See, the Americans should be outraged. Again, we're not voting for Donald Trump's past, and this is the whole theme of the show. We're not voting for Donald Trump's past. Mainstream media wants to keep bringing up many of these false allegations and things that Donald Trump have said over 11 years ago, over a decade ago. We're voting for Donald Trump's policies. And we have, go ahead.
Mark, we're not looking for a pope to be the president. We're not looking for a saint.
Right.
We're looking for somebody that's going to stand up, transparency, tell the American people the real truth. I believe in what Donald Trump is saying on, a war. We should not be putting out what we're doing. There's certain things that once we go into a war, hopefully Donald Trump will never, ever bring us into war because he believes, like Ronald Reagan, strength, through peace, building our military.
Right. Now, what would you break it down for all the listeners who are on and everyone that's watching? Break it down. What are the top 3 things Donald Trump is going to do for our veterans that is not being done for our veterans right now?
Okay, number 1 is the wait list. He's going to fix that. In order to fix it, he needs Congress to pass the permanent medical card, where veterans, like I say, can go to any doctor. Number 2, he's going to strengthen the benefits there so the Congress does not cut, like, for instance, the Yellow Ribbon program, where they're looking to cut the veterans' education benefits. Number 3, he's looking to rebuild the Veterans Hospital, but wants competition within the Veterans Hospital and the civilian community. Because if you're a refugee or if you're on welfare, you can go to any doctor, any place you want, okay, with your medical card. But a veteran can't do that. If somebody would go to his site at www.donaldtrump.com, click on the issues and read his 10-point plan that is on his website. It's a no-brainer. We're finally treating veterans with Donald Trump as first-class citizens, not second or third class.
Wow. I'm so thankful representatives, that you are out there and you are representing the Veterans Affairs. You're representing the veterans of this great country. You are the epitome of what we. Let me hear, before I let you go. How do you feel about many of the athletes that are taking a knee during the national anthem and doing the Pledge of Allegiance? To pledge allegiance of our great flag. How do you feel about that?
Well, I don't know if you caught me. I was just on Fox Business talking about this same issue. I respect everyone's right to freedom of speech, but I don't have to like it. What they're doing is a disrespect to the flag. Many of my fellow veterans throughout the years have shed blood, have died for that flag. Here in New Hampshire, we have what they call a Hall of Flags. We have flags from all the wars that veterans have carried, and the respect in that hall is second to none. I think those athletes need to focus their agenda outside of being on the sports field. When that flag is rising, they should respect. They don't mind spending American money,
right?
But they disrespect the veterans throughout the country. And I boycott the NBA and the NFL.
I would too. And I tell you, sir, you are a true American. You are a true patriot. We can't thank you enough for what you and millions of armed American soldiers, men and women, who have fought and died so that you and I can have the freedoms that we have. So guess what? You fought and died so that they can have the freedom to protest. Isn't that something? It seems like almost an oxymoron. The freedom so they can protest against the very thing that won them the freedom.
The problem, Mark, is we've trained our country, our young, okay, but there's no competition anymore. Everybody gets a trophy. We've trained our young to be weak for safe spaces. Whatever happens to toughen up our children, to take advantage, kick indoors, make things happen. Okay, the American dream. Donald Trump believes in that. God bless him. We finally got somebody that wants all Americans to succeed.
Yeah.
He's colorblind. I honestly believe that.
Sir, I am so thankful for you, and I'm thankful that Mr. Trump has you on his team. And and I want to pray. I want to pray for you as you continue to travel around the country, continue to speak for the veterans of this great country, and continue to speak for American soldiers, American armed forces, and give our veterans hope. To the veterans that are watching right now, and you feel like that you want to just end it all. Listen to what First Sergeant is saying. He is representing. He's telling you that there's a better day for the veterans of this great country. That they have been treated horribly under the Democratic Party, and will be continued to be treated horribly under President Hillary Clinton. This is why we have to come together more than ever. We're not voting for Donald Trump's past. We're voting for his present policies. And you, sir, are representing that. I thank you, First Sergeant. I thank you so much for what you're doing. And for everybody that's watching you, how can they get a hold of you?
Well, they can get a hold of me. I'm in New Hampshire. I'm on Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn. If you go to the state website, my phone number's there. In closing, I'd like to just tell you, I had a conversation about 8-9 months ago with Donald Trump. Mm-hmm. His mission is like on the battlefield, where we say not one veteran left behind. He believes in the VA hospitals. Not one veteran should be left behind.
Not one. And right now,
not one, brother.
And right now, other Democrats and will be continuation of Hillary Clinton, they are being left behind. Do you agree?
I agree. Hillary's left them behind a long time. It's all about her. I can tell you some stories veterans told me around the country that seen her overseas and the disrespect they got.
My God. We can't allow that to stand. We cannot allow that to stand. Continue to speak to the veterans. We need their votes. But they will have our support, and they will have a president that will support them, like Donald J. Trump for president of the United States. I love you, brother. Thank you so much for joining the show. You are a special person to me. Way back in the early primaries when he and I connected together and speaking at some of the rallies, way back when there were still 17 candidates in the 16 candidates in the race. We were there. We were not, First Sergeant.
We sure were. We definitely rocked the house with the truth.
I love you, brother. Thank you for calling into the show.
All right, thank you. God bless. Bro.
God bless you, First Sergeant. That's a wonderful American. I love him so much. Representative Al, who is, you see him on television, Fox News, CNN. You see him all over the news, Fox Business, and he is still on the road. You see him speak at rallies. He's speaking at Veteran Affairs, VA hospitals. Again, you see him all over the country bringing the good news of why we need to have Donald Trump in the office. This is what I want to talk about. We're talking about real policies. We're talking about policies, not past failures, not past mistakes, not issues, but policies that's going to impact our country today. That's my word. People say, what is Donald Trump's strategy for the debate? Talk about the policies. Talk about the policies. Talk about policies. Policies, policies, policies. Problems our country is facing and the policies to fix them. Policy problems that are destroying our country and the policies that's going to make it right, make it better for the lives of Americans here in this country. I am watching you on Facebook Live. I am so excited about Facebook Live. There are 239 people that are watching on Facebook Live. People are giving comments. D. Fisher, Carolyn, Green, Roberts, Patricia, Guinea, Jones, Kelly, Karen, Kelly. Hello to everybody that is on Facebook Live. I'm calling your name out as I'm looking here on your cell phones. I'm trying not to look down too much. I know my producers are yelling at me every time I hold my head down. They're saying, hold your head up, hold your head up, hold your head up. But I'm so excited about everyone that is on here. Ernie, blessings to you. Say, get excited, Pastor. Get excited. Stacy Cruz, blessings to you. Steve Zink, talking to you. Melody Holmes, blessings to you. Kelly Ashley, hello to you. Sandra Boone from South Carolina, my state. D. Fisher Broader, Rebecca. I will be here all day long calling everybody's name out. Brittany, hello to you, Brittany. Donna King, blessings to you. Dawn, blessings to you. Alex, I love you too, sir. Tammy, blessings to you. I wish I can get to everybody's question, but I'm just excited because I don't care what mainstream media tries to get you to be focused on. Remember, stop focusing on the party, the person, but focus on the policies. Stop focusing on the person and the party, but focus on the policies. That's what's going to change our life forever. Gene, blessings to you. Gene Pooler, blessings to you. Blessings to everybody. Let me get back because I want you to call. Have a conversation with me. 864-373-0001. Make sure if you're on Facebook and on YouTube, share this broadcast live right now. Get it to I want every one of you right now that's watching on Facebook Live. That's over 265 of you. Quickly share it right now. Tell them to quickly get on. Let's triple that number that is on Facebook Live. And everybody that is watching, I think they said they're over 800 that is watching live right now on YouTube. Let's triple that number on YouTube. Share it in Twitter. Share it in Facebook. Everybody that is on Facebook Live, let's get that number up because we are uniting together. We're not going to be listening to the mainstream media. We're not going to be moved by what next scandal that comes out, what next audio tape they might have. We're not going to be swayed. And I'm talking to the independents. I'm talking to those of you that have yet to make your decision. I'm talking to you, especially to you. The Trumpsters, they're voting Trump. But to you, we need you to win the election. It's not enough just about packing out the rallies. We have to vote. We have to vote. We have to vote and make sure Donald Trump is the next president of the United States of America. And I think everybody's asking to wear red. I think that symbolizes in voter fraud. Am I wrong? Am I right? Everybody going to fact check me on that? But I think everyone is wearing red so that symbolizes voter fraud. Y'all help me out on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube. Y'all help me out. Is that what that means? That we're all wearing red on the election day so that we are making sure, yes, share. Get it out there. Everybody share it, because this is a message that the Democratic Party and the liberal media, they do not want this type of a message to get out to the general mass. So they want to silence us. They want to prohibit us. They want to block us. And we want to make sure that we're fighting for voter fraud. We're fighting voters fraud when we are wearing red. So everybody share the broadcast. Share. Get it out there. Get excited. Get pumped up. Say, I am. It's not about just Donald Trump. It's not about the party, the Republican Party, but it's about the principles that I stand behind. That if I'm a man or woman of faith, I cannot fight. I cannot vote for anyone that wants to murder babies, that kills babies. They're telling me right now, hashtag code red, hashtag code red, hashtag code red. Everybody wear red. I'm wearing pink right now for breast cancer awareness, but come closer to election day, I will be in red, making sure that we're getting the word out there. Everybody get this broadcast up. We're out at 300. We went up over 60 people, but let's get this thing higher. Everybody on YouTube, you share the broadcast. Trump army is planning to flood stations with red. That's right. They want to flood the voter stations with red. Trump supporters, wherever you are, get your party together. Show up in a van. Show up. Hashtag code red, because we are telling America and we're telling the mainstream media that we control our country. You don't control our country. We, the people, control our country. That I am not going to vote my race, but I'm going to vote my faith. My faith was more important than my race. My faith, which is more important, my faith outweighs my race. This is why that I am standing. There's so much that is at stake. The Supreme Court is at stake. The Supreme Court is at stake. The next president will be choosing the next Supreme Court justices. We need to make sure that we have a conservative president that's going to make sure that we can challenge Roe versus Wade, Wade versus Roe. We can challenge that. We can challenge Roe versus Wade. We can challenge some of the Constitution, the laws that have been passed right now, and overturn the Johnson Amendment, so we can put the power back into the hands of the leaders, of the spiritual leaders of our country. We have to stand together. My faith votes. My faith votes. My faith votes. You're not a race traitor. You're not a race traitor. You are you're voting faith. You're not a race traitor when you vote faith. You're not a race traitor when you're voting your faith. Let me say that again. You're not a race traitor when you're voting your faith, because your faith supersedes your race. Your faith supersedes your race. Your faith supersedes your race. They're telling me that there are over 1,000 people on Facebook right now. Over 1,000 people. We have gotten that number up there. I want everybody to continue to share. We've gotten that number up there because the enemy does not want us, and they're over 850 on YouTube. Keep sharing it. Keep growing that number, because we got to get this word out there, and we cannot let people stop us. We cannot let the mainstream media stop us. Joe and the whole team at RSBN has given a platform that is saying we're not controlled by big businesses. We're controlled only by the voice of the people. Your donations that comes into RSBN.TV, your gifts that come in to help these broadcasts continue to go. I don't get not one dime of your money. I don't touch your money. It doesn't come to Mark Burns. Joe uses every single cent to make sure that these broadcasts get out to the world, so that mainstream media and their billions of dollars and their mass marketing that mainstream media does, that we have a voice, that we have a voice here in the great country of the United States of America. We have an opportunity to speak to the world and to declare what we to believe is right, what we believe is okay, and and how we are to live our life should be dictated by us, and not by liberals who don't see and understand the same thing we understand. I mean, we understand that how Hillary Clinton, based off of her last WikiLeaks, that how she views Catholics and evangelicals and people of faith. That that is not important to her. Those anti-Catholic, anti-religious rhetorics from her highest level of people. We already know this. This is no secret to us because her policies reflect how she views religion. How the president of the United States wants to declare to the world that this is no longer a Christian nation. That this is no longer a Christian nation. No, I beg to differ. I believe every person that is on this broadcast, if you're a person of faith, just say, my faith votes. My faith votes. My faith votes. Not my race, my faith votes. I am voting my faith. My faith is important to me. I may not understand everything Donald Trump says. I may not understand everything that he does. I may not understand why he seems sometimes doesn't connect to me as a normal person. But what I do know is despite of how I may personally feel about the man, Donald Trump, the principles and the policies that the party represents, I have to stand with. I stand with that. That's what I'm fighting. That's what I'm standing behind. I'm fighting for the little babies, that they have a right to have a voice. I believe in the sanctity of marriage. I believe that states should have more rights. I believe that the Johnson Amendment should be overturned. I believe that we should put power back in the hands of the people and out of the hands of the big policy makers, but in the voice of the people, and hold the media accountable for the things that they say and the things that they do, because we are the people of the United States. This whole Constitution was created by the people, for the people of this great nation. And you and I that is watching this broadcast, we're linking arms and arms together, despite the color of our skin, despite our academic background, despite our financial backgrounds, together as men and women, as human beings, whether we're black or white or Hispanic or Asian or Latino or wherever you're from, your background, your heritage, Greek, is Italian, whatever your heritage is, we are, if you're here legally, we are the citizens of the United States of America. And this is the language that fears the Democratic Party. It fears Hillary Clinton, because the moment that people of faith and different people from different backgrounds and colors and creeds come together as one voice to declare that we are taking back our country, they understand that there are more of us than there are of them. Even though they control the mainstream media, even though they control most of the mainstream liberal papers, like the New York Times, the voice of the people will overshadow every attack that comes from the liberal media. I feel I'm on fire today. I really am on fire today. I believe there are more of you out there that are believing with me, that are standing with me. That's why I need you to share the broadcast, get this word out there. Get the word out there, because this is bigger than just being Democrat. This is bigger than being just a Republican. This is bigger than Donald Trump. This is bigger than Hillary Clinton. Our way of life is under attack. And it is only when we come united together can we defeat the wows that is coming against us. Are you listening to me? Are you listening to me? Call me quickly, 864-373-0001. I have Ruben that has been patiently waiting on the air. Ruben, thank you so much for joining the Colors That Unite. Welcome to the show, Ruben.
Thank you, Dr. Burns. I appreciate it. I was hoping that I would get an opportunity. I have not a lot of things to say, but the things that I have to say are really, really, really important. You can get in Donald Trump's ear where I can't. I have been watching just about all the performances, all the speeches he's done. The whole works. Where the distraction is that he on these speeches he's given too much airtime to defending himself from Hillary Clinton. That is her entire plan because it gets him off message. So he doesn't get to cover half of the things that he needs to be covering because he's too busy attacking her and attacking everybody else. He needs to let God. God says, "Vengeance is mine." Let God worry about Hillary Clinton, and let Donald Trump worry about putting the issues out there that people want to hear.
Yes.
People want to know about what his message is about. And when he sits there having to defend himself for half hour on a rally, that's half hour that he just gave to Hillary Clinton that she doesn't deserve. And it's working. That's exactly what her ploy is to get him off message. And I'll tell you something else. He's not there by coincidence. He is the straw man. Hillary Clinton planned it so that he would end up running against her because she felt that he would be a weak candidate, and it didn't work out that way. This thing was orchestrated way back when. The problem is this whole distraction with all these women coming up and all this other stuff is the only reason that is happening is because she wants to take the attention off her husband, because her husband was involved in a rape, and they got it on tape, and she's afraid that stuff's going to come on. It all happened, in an island over someplace else with a billionaire, and all this stuff. Anyway, it hasn't come out, but she wants to get the attention on her husband, and she wants to get the attention on him. Absolutely. And that's exactly what she's doing.
Absolutely.
Now,
Cheryl, I want to tell you, Cheryl Greer said on Facebook, said, "You are speaking the truth, sir." Go ahead.
Let me tell you, I listened to a news conference that Vladimir Putin gave to a roundtable about maybe here a week or two ago. Mr. Putin does not want war with the United States. And he sat there and he said, they're blocking this. Every time I speak, they don't let the people in the United States hear me because they don't want to know what I am saying. He's saying, I don't want war with the United States. I don't know. They're the ones that are trying to push the button.
Right.
That is not my intention. It never was. There's always been a balance of power.
Right.
That's because we've had a balance of power. It's always worked. Hillary Clinton has it out for Putin because he's hacked into emails and he's exposed her. And if she gets into office, it's a guaranteed nuclear war. We all go down. Now, there's something else that the media doesn't cover this. There was an executive order, and people can check me on this if they want. I will tell you right now, Obama signed an executive order a couple of days ago. It's called an EMP. That's what he called it. And it's preparing for a power grid collapse. Obama signed an executive order on EMP space weather events. And this order gives him power to do anything he needs to do as far as moving people around and doing whatever he needs to do with anybody. He doesn't have to get permission from anybody.
Right.
Now, the reason he put that executive order, because he said that protects us from solar flares and all of this stuff, it isn't about that. What it's all about is that Russia has a secret weapon that they can use against us, and it is called an electronic magnetic pulse, EMP. Now, they've had conferences, the United States has had conferences about this particular weapon against us, and we don't have protection against this.
Right.
This is Putin's plan.
And I want to tell
he wants to attack the east coast of the United States. He wants to attack the west coast of the United States with this particular weapon. What this weapon does, it doesn't injure the people. It just knocks out every single amount of power.
Electronic. Yes, I heard about that. I heard about that, and I tell you, it is so important.
It's a power grid.
It's power grid, and I want to tell you, Ruben, you're absolutely 100% right. People say, well, that's conspiracy theory stuff. No, that's a fact. The president did sign this, and it's an executive order. This is why we have to have Donald Trump as the president of the United States. It's more important than ever. We have Donald Trump elected because the power is put back in the hands of the people and not just the and not just the executive orders that President Obama has to sign because he can't work with the Congress, but having a real leader like Donald Trump who will speak for the people. James from Arizona, we're going to try to go through this as fast as we can because we got so many on the line. James from Arizona, welcome to the show, James.
Yes, I just got a few things to add, mainly because of the fact that I know about electromagnetic pulses, and me being in the IT field, it kind of affects everything. What actually happens is that the electromagnetics in pretty much every device actually short circuits through the critical failures of the actual devices. But that's besides the point. What I wanted to talk about, I'm a veteran. I'm a veteran of the intelligence community. I was a geospatial imagery analyst for 5 years. I understand what Hillary Clinton did. I understand that it's very illegal what she did. I would have been brought out back and shot, literally. And the thing is that a lot of people don't realize is what's going on. I believe in patterns. That's my entire theory, is that everything that has happened all the way up until this point has happened before. And if you look at history, if you look at the Roman Empire, you'll find a man called Gracchus, in which he tried to stop the fall of the Roman Empire. I believe that Donald Trump is very similar to Gracchus. And the reason why I say that is because as time goes on, as things go on, what was Rome discussing at the point of their fall? The sex of angels. Whether or not angels had genitalia or not. And I see so many similarities between what's going on in the mainstream media, what we're doing as a society, and what's going on in our political realm, that it's unbelievable. Now, the one policy that I would love to see in place, and this is the only one, as a veteran, the one thing I hate is politicians. I want to get rid of the lifetime politician. I am tired of career politicians. We need a term limit. We need
especially
in
Congress.
Speech you can actually what?
Especially in Congress.
I'm sorry.
Especially in Congress.
Because right here in Arizona, I got this this guy named Guevara, or however you say his name. But he was up there in D.C. protesting for more gun control, while the schools here in Tucson have practically no libraries, no physical education, and yet this was not in policy before he came into his seat. This is the problem. We spend millions on roadways here in Arizona, and yet every year you can't get through the roadways because of the floods.
Right. James, you're absolutely...
Not like it.
Go ahead, James. Your last point.
Hello?
Can you hear me, James? Did we lose you? James, I think we lost him. James, are you there? Okay, I think we lost James. So anyway, what James was saying, I hope people are listening. I listened to somebody here on Facebook, and they said Judge Jeannie was talking about this very same thing on her show. She's been saying it for months, and I hope America is listening. I mean, this is really what we are dealing with. Jay on the call. Jay, are you there? Welcome to the Colors That Unite. You're live on the air.
Hey, Pastor Burns. Yeah, it's me. I'd like to say I was Al's driver for the early part of the campaign, so it was great hearing him on there. I'm back in North Carolina now.
Well, welcome, Jay.
Hello?
I can hear you. Welcome, Jay. You was first sergeant's driver, huh?
Well, for the campaign, I went with him all through the primaries. I worked for the Trump campaign.
Oh, wonderful, Jay. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I just wanted to say, Pastor Burns, we're in a situation now where if we do not stand up for our faith in America, Christianity is going to become public enemy number one.
It's on that
Those
way.
Those emails were the tip of the iceberg.
Absolutely.
And I just hope that you pray for us as a nation and that you get the clergy involved in prayer.
You're absolutely right, Jay. This is really the heartbeat of what I want to talk about today. When I say we're not voting for Donald Trump's past, we're voting for Donald Trump's policies. And what that means is that every person of faith, every person who understands faith is so important to them, every person, every believer, if faith is important to you, you need to be voting for Donald Trump. Get past Donald Trump's personality flaws that you may think that might be flaws. Get past Donald Trump's past and focus on the policies. And again, what Jay just said, those WikiLeaks of what Hillary Clinton, it's only the tip of the iceberg. It is the tip of the iceberg. It is the tip of the iceberg of how she views religion in this country. I mean, again, President Obama has already declared this is no longer a Christian nation. And this is not about placing Christianity over in the other religion, because in the great country of America, we have the freedom to worship whoever we want to worship without persecution. But this is about the millions of evangelicals, the millions of Christians, the millions of people of faith, that faith, despite what your faith is important to your daily life. But Hillary Clinton and the Democratic Party, obviously they have no respect for Catholics. They have no respect for conservatives. They have no respect. Their rich Catholic friends wouldn't understand children attending a evangelical school. This is the kind of tone. It's all about money. I'm not really religious or a Catholic. I just send my kids to school there because my rich Catholic friends wouldn't understand. The status of it's just all about status. It has nothing to do about their faith. But for the millions of people of faith, again, for the millions of faith that are out there that are watching this, and now this is why I want you to share these broadcasts. The millions of people of faith that are out there watching this broadcast, and we'll watch it later on until next week, is we have to vote Donald Trump. Get past those past issues and focus on the present policies that Donald Trump represents. It's bigger than Donald Trump. It's bigger than the party. It's our way of life. Our way of life is under attack. And if we don't unite together, Mr. Trump said to me, he said, Pastor Burns, do you know that the Christian believers, the Christian faith, the evangelical faith in this country is the largest lobbyist group in America? That if we came together, and this is why I've been focusing on unity, if we came together, that there's not one law we could not get passed or have overturned in this country. Not one law in this country that we could not pass or have overturned if we came together as one country, as one people. The Democratic Party understands that if the Democratic Party understands that the Democratic Party understands that the only way to defeat us is to divide us. The only way to defeat us is to divide us and keep us focusing on our color, our difference of religion, our difference of opinion, focusing on distracting things like our Donald Trump's past, and not and have the mainstream media to continuously focus on distracting things that have nothing to do with the state of our country. Like, we want closed borders. You either have a country or you do not. You either have a country or you do not. A country has borders. A country has borders. Either we are a country or we are not a country. We believe in strong military strength through peace through strength. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. There's only there's nothing wrong with being proud to be an American. There's nothing wrong with being proud to be an American. The only way that they combat that, once again, is to call us racist. It's to say that, oh, you're talking about, American first sounds like Hitler. No, that means I'm going to look after the American citizen first. We talk about legal immigration, and how we want people to enter to our country, but do it legally. And for those that are here illegally, they are here. They have broken the law, changed the law. but the law hasn't been changed, so therefore they're here illegally. So there has to be a humane way to get them to go through the process. However that is, I'm not a politician, but either they leave, and like Donald Trump said, those who have of criminal fashion, they're gone automatically. If they are of any type of a crime, criminal activity, they're automatically gone. That is only right, because we're trying to protect these citizens of the United States of America. And when it comes to the refugees, I am a pastor. Of course, I want to make sure those that are in harm's way to get out of harm's way, like millions of other people, citizens in this country. But there's a way to do that without putting the citizens of the United States of America in harm's way. And again, they say, well, it hasn't happened, through all the refugees that has entered our country. None of that has ever happened. Listen, it only takes one. It took one gunner that killed those people in Florida, Orlando. One killer. One person can do a lot of damage. And when you have hidden potential hidden cells, that the FBI is telling us that there is no way to properly vet them. The FBI is telling us there is no way to properly vet them. Then we should be vigilant. We should make sure that there are safe zones for those people. Yes, let's get them out of Syria. Let's get them out of, and I feel sorry for the innocent people in Syria. My heart goes out to them, to the innocent victims of Syria. This has nothing to do with ISIS. There's so many Syrians over there that they're Muslims, and they have nothing to do with ISIS. They have nothing to do with wanting to hurt Americans. They're normal people like you and I. We're not trying to attack the faith of Islam. I don't agree with their doctrine, but that doesn't mean I got to hope that they die. When I see that kind of a rhetoric, that is not what Jesus would stand for. Not at all. Jesus is love. Even people who disagree with him, Jesus still loved them. The only people that Jesus cast aside were those that were trying to denounce the God thereof. But even Jesus said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. I'm trying to live my life as an example of Jesus. Basic kindness to humans. And so those refugees in Syria, they should be saved. Those who want to get out of those countries, we should make it easy for them to escape. Those little babies that are dying every day in the rubble of the bombings of Russia. And we're turning a blind eye because we're so focused on ISIS. But at the same time, we don't have to let all of those refugees roam in our streets in America, because you just never know who are those cowards hiding behind the faith of Islam, so that they can try to destroy our way of life here in America. So I believe we should have extreme vetting, like Donald Trump said, extreme vetting for anyone that is coming from those countries that have been compromised by ISIS. They make us feel like we are racist, we're bigots. We are wrong for being proud to be an American. And that our faith as Christians and evangelicals and even those who are non-believers, you're still an American, and you still have a right to the freedoms of this great country. You have the right of the protection of this great country. You have the right of the economic growth of this country. So it's not about one race destroying another race. That is not Jesus. That is not love. That is not my faith. My faith starts with love. Despite your background, despite your color, despite who you were, who you are. I love you, and the Holy Spirit will do the rest. Call me 864-373-0001. We have 8 minutes before we go off the air. I want to let everybody know that we will be doing a special broadcast this Wednesday at 7 o'clock. This Wednesday at 7 o'clock, from 7 to 8 o'clock, we'll be doing a special broadcast. So I want everybody to know that this Wednesday, I think the debate starts, they're telling me, at 9 o'clock. The debate starts at 9 o'clock. So we're going to be doing a special live broadcast, pre-debate broadcast, and we will pray again. And I believe the prayers of the righteous avail much, and everyone know that Donald Trump knocked it out of the park. He knocked it out of the park, and I believe our prayers work. I'll be also on Periscope praying together. If you're not following me on Periscope and Twitter, at Pastor Mark Burns, make sure you'll follow me on Periscope and on Twitter and on Facebook, because I will be praying together. I want you to join in with me. But this Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard, we'll be doing a special 1-hour broadcast here, and we'll be praying for Donald Trump and talking more about the strategies. I'll try to have some special guests lined up for you so we can talk together as we're preparing for the final debate. And we're going to be praying for that God gives America what it needs, what America needs right now. We'll be also praying for Donald Trump, and that God gives him the wisdom and the answers, the right answers, and to be what we need him to be. But also we want to pray for all candidates. We want to pray that no harm or danger comes to any one of them. And so we're praying for all of America. But more importantly, my faith votes. My faith votes. My faith votes. Kurt Cameron, Dr. Ben Carson, and others will be having a special My Faith Vote event. And my faith votes. Your faith is more important than your race. Vote your faith, not your race. To every independent out there, if you're a believer, if you're a man or woman of faith, and you are either Democrat or you're an independent or you're Republican, you still don't know you're independent, you don't know who you're voting for, I'm talking directly to you. If you're a person of faith, there's no other option for you. Vote Donald Trump, because you're not voting for his past, you're voting for his principles. You're not voting for his past flaws, you're voting for his present policies. And the policies that are more in line with the Word of God than any other candidate that is now running for President of the United States. I'm taking a couple more calls, and then we're going off the air. Linwood, welcome to the show. Welcome to the Colors That Unite. Welcome to the show. You're live and on the air.
Thank you so much, Mr. Burns.
Welcome to the show, sir.
Yes, sir. I'm a 67 vet, and to all those vets that I've heard, I just want to say I love you all. We've all been through the same things.
Amen.
I witnessed and Fed will kill himself at the American flag because he couldn't get his drugs. He put a 45 to his head. It broke my heart. I cried. And I'm calling, telling you there's no denominations. There's just one Jesus Christ. We all serve the same Lord, the same God the Father.
Yes.
And what we got to do is come together as a nation.
Absolutely.
And repent and tell the Lord that we want him back in everything. And
Absolutely.
that we need him, that we have remorse.
Absolutely.
And Pastor Burns, you're doing such a wonderful job. I love you, sir.
I love you too. Thank you so much for telling me that. Thank you so much for being a witness. Thank you so much for being a supporter of Donald Trump. And there's been a strong person of faith, bold in your faith. That's what all matters. And this country is surrounded around millions of supporters, millions of people of faith. Tracy, welcome to the show, Tracy. Welcome to the show, to the Colors That Unite. You live and on the air.
Thank you. Hi, Pastor Burns and everybody online. The man that just prayed, really all of us need to pray. I think there's 2,000 people online. He really made an incredible point there. We know that we're supposed to pray and repent, and God will heal our nation. But
Yes.
to ask God to put him back into everything in this nation,
Yes.
everything.
Everything.
That was really a wonderful point. I have a couple of important things. If the military intelligence guy is still online, I wondered if he could contact me, and I have 2 alerts for everyone here to listen to. Look, there's a couple of things that is the key strategy of the enemy, and the enemy is those who are not for this nation. It's not Democrat and Republican. You know, the WikiLeaks are telling us that they're colluding. We know that they are, and then they try to divide us. It's the same people controlling both. Bush wasn't a Republican, and if more people understand that it's not about party, it's about principle.
Yes.
It's about values. It's about
Yes.
this nation. Well, one thing, somebody here made a post, and it's brilliant, in the recent, and then I have one other point that's really critical. somebody made a point that Glenn Beck was revealed in the WikiLeaks as having received $109,000 from the Clinton Foundation. Boom, that's collusion. That's the Republicans. And that person said we all need to hit him on Twitter and expose it. We have 2,000 people online. If everybody emails their friends and tells their friends to do the same thing, and he gets slammed, the media has to report on it. And what happens is the media inadvertently has to expose that the Republicans are in with Clinton, and Trump can push that point more.
Yes. Yes.
Do you see?
Yes.
A second point is I just came across, and I'm sorry, I'm a little bit wound up. I just came across an article online, a post. There's a gentleman, listen real carefully here, everyone, because we all can help. But I need to get through to Trump. If the first sergeant, I need to get his name. But we have to get this to Trump. There's an actor, gentleman, that was hired. He's a Trump lookalike. And either right before the debate or immediately after, they have about 8 or 9 different commercials where the Trump lookalike, Hillary's going to be spending a ton of money on commercials. It's a Trump lookalike giving a woman a black eye, making horribly racist remarks and everything else. And I think if we can get through to Trump, his attorneys can call a cease and desist. I have the name of the PAC, the super PAC, that intends to do it. But we have to get to Trump so he has time with his attorneys so they can stop them from even airing those. That is illegal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we don't. So if I didn't catch the first sergeant's name, my email address, and the military intelligence guy. By the way, I have a military intel background. I'm a disabled vet, and I have some other information. Danger to the state. Inside, they intend to do a nuclear hit on Manhattan Bridge and on London, and blaming it on Russia. But if anybody would like to collaborate with me right now, I'm working and I'm racing against the clock, so I'm a little bit wound up here. But if I had a few people volunteer with me, I have a strategy going here where if I can put it together and get it to Trump, he can put it in there. They're trying to cheat the vote. There are over a dozen states that have lawsuits. I'm in the midst of researching right now. And if Trump can get that in on air, he's got the whole nation watching him. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
If they are aware, Ohio had over 500,000. A warehouse was discovered with estimated almost 500,000 pre-filled voter slips a couple of weeks ago before the vote started. Cheating.
Yeah.
The media is not reporting on it. They'd be forced to if Trump can tell them that. But I have a strategy going, but I'm limited in strength. If a few people could volunteer for me, I know that we could just put it together nice and neatly.
What is your information?
And get,
so people want to get in contact with you. What is this information?
Yeah, if somebody could help me articulate it, I really have a plan here for Trump to beat them to the punch and slam them on a number of things. My email address, I'll give you my Gmail just because it's safer for a woman, and then I'll give you my real email after you write me. My Gmail address is GoTracy, which is GOTRACI. Again, that's GOTRACI @gmail.com. I don't check it all the time. I will right now, and then I'll give you my regular email and number.
Okay, we'll make sure we get that out there. And
a couple. I want you guys to know this. If you're talking to people out there, black voters, they're not giving you the information. The real black vote is 25% are voting for Trump and growing.
We absolutely know that. We're absolutely, Tracy.
You guys know that?
Yeah, and I want to tell you, Tracy, you're absolutely right. We're putting your information out there so that people can connect with you, and if people want to connect with you and communicate with you, we'll make sure we get your email out there. And you're absolutely right. Over 20% of blacks are voting for Donald Trump. We're tired of the hypocrisy the Democratic Party has doing and been treating us for all these years. I have my last caller, Bella, on the air. Bella, welcome to The Colors That Unite. Welcome to the show.
Hi there.
Hey, Bella, welcome to the show.
Hello, I'm from California, and what I'm concerned with, I'm listening to everything you guys are saying, and that's great, but what I'm really concerned on is Hillary not being out on the trail, and it shows us, it's kind of making me feel like, okay, she's not on there. She must feel pretty secure. Is there anything other than voter fraud that could be going on that they already know is a guaranteed win for her?
Good point.
That's what's worrying me.
Or she's very sick.
Yeah, but see, to me, it can't be sick. To me, if she knows that she's in jeopardy of losing this election, which she should be. I mean, come on, the rallies are humongous. I think I just think this is a given. Trump's going to win this thing. But then if that's the case, why aren't her actions, put aside the illness or whatever, why aren't her actions showing, I don't know. I don't like it that she's not out on the stump.
Right. Well, I want to tell you.
That's my concern. That's all I wanted to really say.
Thank you so much, Bella, for letting me know that. And I want to tell you, you never know. But again, Donald Trump is on the stump. He is, 2 to 3 events, to average 10 to 15,000 at many of these rallies, 25,000, literally all over the country. You cannot measure the enthusiasm that is taking place. The enthusiasm factors, Dr. Ben Carson said to me a couple of days ago, that you can't measure the enthusiasm factor that is out there, that is taking place. The word I want again to say to everybody is simply this. Understand, I need, especially believers, pastors, preachers, bishops, we have to vote our faith and not our race. Let me say that again. Vote our faith and not our race. Either the word of God works for all of us, including Donald Trump, or it doesn't work for none of us. So let's not focus on Donald Trump's past flaws. Let's focus on the present policies. That's who we're voting for. It's bigger than Donald Trump. It's bigger than Hillary Clinton. It's bigger than Democrats and Republicans. Our faith and our way of life is at stake. So if you're a man or woman of faith, make sure you're getting the word out there. We got to vote for Donald Trump. You may not like his personality. You may not like his person. That's partly because you don't know the person. If you knew him, you would love him. But I understand not everybody get opportunity to know him personally. But you may not like his person. You may not like his past. But he's the only candidate between Hillary Clinton and between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. He's the only candidate that is fighting for our rights, our religious freedoms. And he wants to make sure that the next Supreme Court justices are ones that are conservative beliefs. He wants to overturn the Johnson Amendment, give pastors and preachers and nonprofits, again, the right to speak from the platform that God has given them and to lead the people. Pastors, preachers, leaders, lead your people based off of your faith and not your race. My faith votes. That's the word that we're getting out to everyone. My faith vote. My faith vote. My faith vote. Steve from Massachusetts, my last caller of the night. Steve, welcome to the call. Welcome to the Colors That Unite. I'm all tongue-tied tonight. Welcome to the Colors That Unite. Welcome to the show, Steve.
Hey, Pastor. How you doing? I'm moving to an area where I can get better service here. Give me one moment. Okay. Yeah, thanks for having me on the show. I just wanted to basically talk about everything we've been talking about. I think everyone's brought some good points to light. I run a page called No More Abominations, and in this current day and age, we get a lot of people saying that when you stand against Obama, you're racist. But, you're right. The whole point of your show today was to talk about that race isn't the issue. It's about character. It's about God first, and it's about restoring this nation to being one nation under God. Our roots are indisputably in God and in Christianity. The Puritans came here to form a nation, to have religious freedom for Christians, people who believe in God, so they could worship God the right way that they weren't being allowed to in Great Britain under I think his name was King Charles, and he was 29 years old, so he was going to be there for a while. That's why they came here, to form a nation under God. So we have to fight for that nation. Now, I know a lot of Christians these days are scared to talk about that. Or they don't want to fight or stand, but it's biblical to stand. I mean, some of the greatest warriors mentioned in the Bible were just that, warriors. They stood for what's right. They fought for it when the time was necessary. I mean, the Bible says that there's a time and place for everything, and it has a specific verse that spells out all the different things, a few verses, actually. And so, as Christians, I'm not calling people to war. I'm calling people to prepare for war, because war has come to us. And when war has come to us, it is our duty as patriots and as Christians and as God-fearing people to stand for righteousness and to stand against you. We have to. The time is now to make a difference in this country and to take America back for we the people, because this country is headed to destruction, just like you talked about earlier in the program. And I'll take a breath in a minute so you can speak it. You know, obviously it's your show. The Roman Empire, when it fell with the same signals we're seeing today in this country. The same exact things are happening in America. And it's amazing to me that people don't educate themselves enough to see that history is repeating itself.
Absolutely. You are absolutely right, Steve. History is repeating itself. And again, this is the 911 cry to every person of faith in this country. Our way of life is under attack. And it's amazing how God will use the least likely person to carry out his assignment. It's amazing how preachers alike said, oh, Donald Trump has a dirty mouth. Oh, Donald Trump has done a lot of things in his past. And we fail to forget that we will praise the Psalms, but we forget the person who wrote the Psalms. King David was a murderer, and he was an adulterer. But we love the Psalms. We never talk about David's flaws. We only talk about what he did. When we read the epistles in the New Testament, and the majority of the New Testament was written by, in his own words, the chief sinner who held the coats of the stoning of Stephen, the first martyr, according to the scriptures. And he persecuted Christians, murdered Christians, had them killed, had them assassinated, sought them out, betrayed his own people, and yet God still used him. When we talk about the epistles, we don't talk about how evil Paul was. No, we talk about his transformation. So, again, we're not voting for Donald Trump's past and his past flaws. We're voting for Donald Trump's present policies. And I want you to remember this Wednesday at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard, we will be broadcasting live for a special debate, presidential debate, right here on RSBN TV. We'll be holding a special prayer where thousands around the country and even the world, last time we had someone calling from Israel, all over the world calling in so that we could pray together, stand together and unity as one people, to stand together as the people, the citizens of the United States of America. So this Wednesday, mark your calendars, at 7 o'clock. I'll be posting it all on Twitter. RSBN would also be promoting this on Facebook and Twitter. Don't forget, tell everybody this Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard, a special broadcast right here from 7 to 8, pre-debate special. And we'll be praying for Donald Trump. And we'll be praying that the same God that showed up in his life last debate will also show up in this debate. This is the final one. This is it. It's all come down to this. We can't just show up at the rallies and shout, our vote matters. Your faith, your vote, your faith. Vote your faith. Vote your faith. Not your race. Vote your faith. Not your race. Vote your faith. Preachers, pastors, bishops, leaders, lead your people to not focus on their race, but focus on their faith. I'm going on Fox News next on Judge Jeannie. If you're watching her now, I'm about to go on there on Fox News at 9:40 is my hit time. So turn it to Fox News, and I'll be on there again talking to the nation, just like I'm talking to you here on RSBN TV. I love you all. Don't forget, email me, Pastor Mark at markburns.org. Pastor Mark at markburns.org. I would love to hear from you, Pastor Mark at markburns.org. Email me. I would love to hear from you. I'd like to pray with you. I'd like to talk to you as much as I can. Make sure you email me, Pastor Mark at markburns.org. Don't forget, continue to donate to rsbn.tv. Your funds help send the team all over the country, making sure that they're broadcasting live Donald Trump's rallies and Governor Pence's rally. Continue to pray for them. Pray for America. We need prayer more than ever. And right now, come November, we need you to vote. Vote your faith. Don't stay at home. Incite your people. Get them excited. You see neighbors church members, choir members, friends, family members. Get them excited. Tell them that their faith, their religious freedom is at stake. That's what's more important than Donald Trump's past, Donald Trump's personality. But his policies was more important than anything else. And right now, he is a friend to people of faith. Make sure you're getting out there and vote. We going off the air. I love you. God bless you. I'll see you this Wednesday at 7 o'clock for a special pre-debate special right here on Right Side Broadcasting Network. God bless you. See you Wednesday.
There's only the one color that matters, and that is the color of red, white. Focusing on the colors that unite us, USA.